Here I'm fluffing the wool a little bit upward so that it's easier to gather and it keeps it together. I will gather it here and pull a little bit, give it a little bit twist. You don't want to give it a tight twist, just a light, you can see here, just to be able to pull it through. I'm using one of the smallest crochet hooks that I have. It came in a set, but that is the smallest one. I can't remember the size. When you pull, you will see the difference. You will feel the difference. We pull a little bit, and then you push this back, and then you pull a little bit again. Depending on how long your tog or thell is, that's about how much you're going to be pulling. With this one is Icelandic, and her, I think it's tog, is the longer part. It's about 2-3 inches, kind of. So as you're pulling, you want to kind of slide a little bit towards the left, a little bit, and again back to the right. So as to keep it even so that you're not just pulling all through one side. You're using all the way to the left and all the way to the back to the right as a little zigzag kind of. Towards the end, I've noticed that it gets shorter and shorter what you're pulling in your hand. So the longer pieces that were able to be combed together, the tog and the thell, the shorter pieces of thell will end up towards the end. So I make sure I do not throw them away. Since I already cleaned them, washed them, and carded them, combed them, I will use them for another project. The smaller bits that are left behind, you can use them for smaller knitting projects. There's also wet felting or using little needles for felting or making like a canvas type art with the little needles or little stuffy toys, little things like that. I've seen other people making some little booties for children or shoes to walk around indoors. I was pulling here, but somehow it got stuck to some of the wall I had behind that I chose not to be combing with. But I will have to use this one more time. Looks like it's like 10 millimeter. I can't really see that. I don't know if you can. You can see here we have reached all the way to the left and we came back all the way to the right. And slowly, I'm kind of pulling it upward right here. You can see. Kind of pushing it down with my hands here. I am pulling it at the smallest setting. I am pulling as much as I can. And those little tiny dots do not bother me there. I'm going to be making a sweater with this. I'm going to make it a lot thinner and double ply it. After a little while, you get into the rhythm and you're just pulling, 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 and it just seems like everything happens so fast. My hands started getting kind of a little bit sweaty because even though you wash it and everything else, it's still wool. Working with wool, it gets pretty hot. Also, keep checking that the pieces that you're pulling are actually coming out the same thickness or thin, however you want it. Makes it all easier when you're spinning or doing drop spindle, whichever. It's a little bit hard. I don't have a big area for myself for doing this. You need a pretty good size area. And I was trying to get the lighting correct, and it's just like really dark in the cabin. I was trying to zoom in here so you can see, but it was really hard to try to see the fibers. I don't know why the camera keeps making it so dark. You can probably see here I am using my a comb and hackle on a chair that I have set up in my kitchen. And the bag's on the left side. So black bags and some bin. That's where I keep most of my tools and my extra wool that I'm going to be using next that I already washed and cleaned. It is a black plastic bag, I believe, on the side, but the wool is inside a paper bag. Excuse me. So the wool is in the paper bag, and the paper bag is in a black plastic bag. Mostly was because when I was shearing the sheep, it started to rain, and so we put the wool quickly from the paper bags into a plastic bag, and thank God we were completely done with shearing. And I opened my hand a certain way. I opened it up and then I grabbed from the bottom because some of the fibers want to get stuck and get pulled with, but not through the little disc. It wants to get pulled from the sides or the bottom and just kind of tag along, which kind of makes it a little bit harder because then you're pulling a little bit extra that you don't want to. And try and keep them even again and pushing down a little bit because they keep kind of, as I'm pulling up to the side, up and to the side, and then back to the right side. It starts kind of shimming up to the top, trying to come out. I do enjoy using the Hackle, the Diz, this way combing the wool. I have not used a drum carder, although I'm looking forward to getting one. It's not on my huge list right now because my wool is not that dirty. My sheep, I don't know, I swear they probably sleep all standing up or something. They have acreage. We have like 10 acres for them, but so far they've kept pretty clean and I didn't have to wash as much or debris it. I have noticed that some sheep are a little bit messier than others. Let me know down in the comments, do you have sheep? What breed of sheep? And do you notice that some sheep are a little bit more clean than others? You can see as I'm pulling through the disc, I'm letting go. And I have a paper bag on the bottom that is catching the whole thing. I will roll it up afterwards. You can see here how it's getting pretty short and I'm not pulling about 2 to 3 inches anymore. It's all being pulled more like maybe 2 inches to 1 inch at some point. I am not sure how this happened, but you can see in the middle, it looks like I was pulling more from the middle. If you know how that happened, let me know, or how I can stop from doing this. I don't know if I said this already, but I do find this very peaceful. And I find that towards the end of the day, when we're done with everything, all the animal chores, and the kids are off probably playing video games, something, that's when I have time for my wool, knitting, or any projects. You see him kind of running out here. It's really tiny, really thin. It's kind of hard to trying to get back to the other side so I can finish the other side. What I will end up doing is probably putting another piece of the longer thell or tog over this really thin, smaller pieces and just continue to spin with it. When I get to the part of spinning, and it kind of broke off here, and all you do is use your little hook there and pull again. You start again, and you can always connect them together. And of course, while I was trying to pull this, it ripped. But I will continue and I will get the rest of this little pieces here. So we were in a little shop in Palmer, and my daughter found that they have some kind of tinsel that you add to your wool. And so I'm not sure, I've never used that before. If you guys know anything, put it down in the comments below, and I will be sure to read it up on it and find out how we can add our little tinsel to our wool, to our yarn. And I don't know if you can dye it with the tinsel in it. And I'm just about done right here. Thank you for watching, and look up for the next videos.